Good. Hello everybody, joined today by special guest Daryl Reaugh from Tracy Hackler. And Daryl has been nice enough to meet with us and we could sign some of his autographs for the upcoming Crown Royale Hockey. And so thank you for that. I think
my pleasure.
Everyone's excited to have you in the set.
I'm honored. Look at how dressed up I got for this.
Fantastic. Yeah, I dressed down for the event.
But you're wearing the colors, your company colors is all.
True that. Daryl, former NHL goalie, spent some time with Edmonton, Hartford,
yep.
And then now is both the voice and the face of Dallas Stars Hockey. Has developed a cult-like following here in Dallas and nationally. I think you're one of the most highly regarded hockey minds in the game.
Thank you. Nice of you to say.
Well, it's because of all those things that we thought you were the perfect choice for Razor's Choice, which is an insert set coming up for Crown Royale Hockey, where you pen the card backs for it.
Yes. And I get to get my take on the individuals. You guys were wonderful because you gave me free reign on which guys I would pick.
Right.
And it didn't have to be superstars, and it didn't have to be one position. Most people would probably think that I was going to pick 10 goaltenders and just talk about goalies, but went all around, and it was fun. The toughest part of it was getting it down to 50 figures.
Right.
You know, I was like,
for each card.
Yeah, it was like I had so much I wanted to say and jam in about each guy, but it was tough to edit it down and get it to a point where it was actually going to fit on a card. So it was challenging, but it was fun. It came actually relatively easy because these are guys that I've admired for their careers, right. Some of them for a long, long time.
Well, your wit and wisdom are legendary, and so you're going to bring card backs back into vogue because for a lot of collectors, the card backs in Africa.
Right.
But now with Razor's Choice, because I think people are really going to read them, they're going to laugh.
Yeah, well, the goal was to, and you guys said, you know, make it sound like you. I want it to be like it's coming out of your mouth, not just, well, here's some stats and here's a line about what he does.
Right.
So I think I did that. Some of it I did overboard and it didn't make the cut. but the stuff that did get in, I'm still thrilled with it. It's exactly what I thought. So.
Well, as a former NHL player, you've had trading cards produced to you before. I think there's 16 total up until this year.
That'd be a high number.
Well,
that includes the minors, I hope.
Yes, it does, absolutely. Okay. And you have 2 rookie cards. And if I asked you what the combined value of those were, would you have a guess? Would you venture a guess?
Does it equal $1?
It doesn't. It's 25 cents.
Well, hey, that's a quarter of a dollar.
Hey, but I bring that up only to say this, is that these cards that you're signing now for the Voices of the Game insert in Crown Royale will instantly become your most valuable trading card ever.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt. Like I told you before, I was so pumped. I remember when because when I first started, I was with the Edmonton Oilers, right? And I can remember it like it was yesterday. So I'm with the team. I was on and off, but I was with the team for basically the entire 87-88 season.
Right.
And back then, as you guys know, there were probably, what, 5 guys on most teams that got a card made.
Right, yeah.
Like,
sure.
It wasn't like today where once you play in the league, bam, you probably already had 5 or 6 cards when you played junior or college or were a prospect. Back then it was like, unless you were like headed to the Hall of Fame, there were no cards made up for you. So back then I would get letters sent, and it would be, oh, you know, Daryl, you're my favorite player. Could you also get, and they would send me the 4 or 5 cards of the other, you know, Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier, Grant Fuhr, Paul Coffey, and all these cards would be in there, expecting me to walk around and get these things signed and then send it back to them. And it was just, so once I actually got a card made up when I was playing in Hartford with the Whalers, that day when I first pulled out that card was almost as exciting as the day I got drafted and the first game I played in the NHL, because I had a hockey card. You know, like you're growing up as a kid and collected them like a maniac, and made a major mistake when I was younger with all my cards, which I'll get to it. Well, this was, I don't even know if I want to tell this story. It was so painful. Okay, you got to remember, like my heyday when I was first collected cards, and that would have been in the late 60s through the 70s. So, and the Montreal Canadiens were my team.
Okay.
I had at least 20 Ken Dryden rookie cards.
Wow.
So when I'd start going through the Beckett and start looking at what were Dryden, they were like $350 each, right? And that was just him. I had Bobby Orr rookie cards. I had an unbelievable, I had garbage bags full, and they sat in my parents' in my closet in my room at my parents' house for a decade. And then they were going to move, and I remember the day she asked me, and cards weren't exploding. It wasn't a big market, right? So they were just sitting there. They were hockey cards. They were a nice collectible from when I was a kid. And they were going to move, and she phoned and asked, what do you want to do with these cards? There's 2 like garbage bags full of cards and then a bunch of shoe boxes. And I'm like, throw them out.
Right.
You know, at this point now, I'm never going to need them. Within a year, maybe 2 years, I think it was within the year though, the hockey card market just exploded. The sporting trading cards in general just through the roof. And I can remember just sitting there running through my mind what kind of money I threw out that day.
That's a lot of cash.
A lot of cash. And then you can't make that come back again, you know?
No, you can't.
And so there was that one, and then there was when I was when that card came out with the first card came out with the Hartford Whalers, and then I'd look at it and it was not a very valuable card. It still isn't today. But I watched it climb for a little bit as things were going not bad, you know. They got all the way up to 42 cents at one point. I was very excited about it. And then I'd start comparing. Well, look at my card's more expensive than this one over here. And then I think the market for Daryl Reaugh cards collapsed. Well, and now it's coming back.
It will absolutely come back in a big way with Crown Royale. I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on what was your reaction when we first approached you about doing the insert?
I was flattered to start off with. You know, it was to think that somebody wants me to do. First off, they want me as a broadcaster on a card,
right,
you know, instead of the athlete. And I think it's a great idea, though. I think it's a wonderful idea. And then the second part was when you guys allowed me to get my take on a few of my favorite players and throw them down on a card. So flattered. Eagerly anticipated doing all this, and as you can see, the cards have turned out beautifully.
Gorgeous. Now,
will I be the most handsome of the group?
Question. There is no question.
Me and Jeanneret?
No, you, head and shoulders. I mean that literally and figuratively.
Did you get is the card of Rick Jeanneret, does it have suspenders involved in it?
No.
A sweater and suspenders? No?
It does not. You have a PhD in prescribing mind vitamins, right?
Yes, I've got a few of those. You should do a whole series on those. Why don't we do that? Razor's Mind Vitamins. Well, let's save it then. I don't want to give them out for free.
Did you dispense any mind vitamins in particular on the backs of Razor's Choice that you're most proud of?
Oh, God. I gotta remember back. I think most of the ones that I tried to sneak through, they were not allowed. I'm pretty sure.
I brought the...
unless you can remind me of some that did.
I just wanted to read Pavel Datsyuk's card back. The guy's a flat-out the best puck jacker I've ever seen.
True.
I've witnessed him take the pill away from the opposition 4 times in one shift. And this next part is just poetry. And when he has the puck, he'll embarrass defenders with his bullish strength, balletic balance, and lubricious puck skills. That's priceless.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's priceless, man.
That's like something maybe Bill Shakespeare might have penned.
Maybe.
Long ago.
Maybe, but I'm giving you kind of
I think of myself more as a jokester and a bit of a thespian from time to time. Then I do a guy that actually can. You know what though? My dad, the other day, my dad says to me, because he reads my blog all the time, right? And he's like, honestly, Daryl, I can't remember you being that good of a student when you were younger, and because you write beautifully now. Where does that come from? And I'm like, I don't know. I got through grade 12 and I read a lot. It just sort of comes. Sorry, Dad.
You're natural. Well, Daryl, man, I really appreciate your time. We're honored to have you in the set. Can't wait for it to come out.
Tracy, thank you very much for this. And look at that. Look at that.
It's gorgeous.
Isn't that beautiful? Signed just for you.
Signed just for you. So.